Welcome everybody back to the QAW Invited Talks series. It is a pleasure to welcome back Shri Hemant Pandey for the second part of our discussion. As a mechanical engineer who has spent over 35 years researching the intersection of ancient scriptures and modern science, Hemant brings a unique perspective to these profound topics. In our first session, he laid the groundwork by showing how Taittiriya Upanishad and Sankhya Yoga actually describe the fundamental laws of time, space, and consciousness that govern our universe. He introduced us to the idea of existential balance, the way our internal and external energies must remain in harmony to sustain our very form, and how we can use this knowledge to understand our origins. Today, we are diving deeper into the practical science of these subtle bodies and the specific principles that drive our evolution. Hemant, the floor is yours for the part two.
Yep, thanks. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it is. Maybe we can go full screen.
Yes. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our second part of the presentation. So, the same, I'm sharing my content, which we discussed last time, except I have color coded them in three colors. The
Sorry
one
to
first
interrupt you.
five, which are,
Sorry to interrupt you, Hemant. There is a box on the
yeah,
large box on the left-hand side. If we can somehow on the left-hand side of the screen. Yeah, yeah. Not that one, on the top actually. Anand, I think you're also seeing, right? This.
actually, I'm not seeing any box on the other side.
Uh, okay. Yeah. Let me hold on 1 second.
Because on my screen, I don't see any box or any obstacle or anything hiding the text.
Aditya, maybe you go out of full screen. I think it came after it went full screen.
Okay.
Okay. Now at least, yeah. Now we can see the whole slide. Before that, there was some box. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So the content I have color coded into three colors. The first five, which are shown in green, which we tried to cover in our earlier session. Then the next one, which is shown in white, we were not able to cover last time because we closed after 1.5 hours. So that was a pending portion from our earlier presentation. And then the one which you see at the bottom, the last 3 points are the new additions based on our discussion and whatever feedback I received from the participants. I felt that I need to modify my presentation to some extent, and I decided to simplify the text as well as add more topics so that it will become with more examples. So I have added three more topics in my original PowerPoint deck. So I have added some examples of connections between Sankhya Yoga and Gita. I have also tried to do a comparison between Patanjali's Yoga Sutra and Sankhya Yoga. And I have also tried to compare Panchakosha from Taittiriya Upanishad with the Sankhya Yoga. So these are three new additions. I think they are pretty easy to understand. I have and I also simplified them so that I have added to make my presentation slightly better than what I had originally thought of. So let me begin with Sankhya Yoga. We should have started our last session with Sankhya Yoga first, rather than Taittiriya Upanishad, because I realized that that was a very big jump to start with Taittiriya Upanishad. So we should have started with the foundational Sankhya Yoga first. But anyway, now we will cover Sankhya Yoga briefly. About 15 slides I have prepared on Sankhya Yoga, and then we'll go back to where we started last time and whatever remaining portion of the Taittiriya Upanishad. and there is a big connection between these two. So that will now make the first part slightly easier to understand once you understand today's presentation. So this is the main shloka I have taken from Sankhya Karika. So Sankhya Yoga is a much bigger work by Kapil Muni, and there is a commentary on that from Ishwar Krishna. So he tried to simplify it, but still it is about 72 verses. So I have picked up one verse out of it, which I felt was the most important. In fact, this covers everything. It covers the status of the evolution from pre-Big Bang to Big Bang to formation of life. So I think this pre-Big Bang is not a part of this text, but it is my vocabulary or my addition. Uh, just to simplify, it may not be the real pre-Big Bang condition or a Big Bang condition, but in a broader sense, it actually covers the entire evolution process. So I just picked up this particular verse, and I am going to deep dive on this verse in my subsequent slides. So if we consider this, it has got multiple components. So I will just read it component by component. So it talks about Purusha, which is the uh, primordial principle, which I covered in my earlier text also, and I will explain what
Hemant,
exactly it.
extremely
Yeah,
sorry to interrupt you again. Again, in your full screen and the box is continuously visible. If you can go off full screen in the presentation, just press escape. You should go off full
yeah,
screen. Okay, at least
and then
now. Yeah,
again,
just leave it this way. Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. Again, you went full screen. Um,
but is it readable in that
no,
case?
no.
And my animation will not work actually.
The entire
I
left-hand
have
side is blocked.
Okay, what I will do, I will share the complete screen rather than just the. Uh,
Okay, yeah, that is
Let me
better. Yeah.
reshare again.
Okay, there is a top box, but hopefully it should go. Yeah, if you can minimize that top box.
Yeah. How about it now?
Okay, okay, this is good. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So we'll talk about Purusha in subsequent slides also. Then there is another concept called Mula Prakriti. So it talks about Mula Prakriti, which is the primordial matter. So one is the primordial principle, which is called Purusha, and the Mula Prakriti, which is called the primordial matter. Then there is Mahat. If the word is broken down into Mahat, so it is Mula Prakrutir Vikrutir Mahadasha Mahadadyaha Prakriti Vikrutaya Sapta Shodashaktasu Vikaro na Prakrutir na Vikruti Purusha. So Mahat is the cosmic intelligence, which is the third component of this verse. And then it talks about Prakruti Vikrutaya Sapta. There are seven evolvents. There is a group of seven. It talks about Sapta. So it is called seven evolvents. And then it also talks about Shodashakastu Vikaro na Prakruti na Vikruti Purusha. So there are 16 Shodashak, that is 16 evolutes, which is what this whole equation talks about, or this whole verse talks about Purusha, Mula Prakriti, then 16 evolutes and 7 evolvents, and then Mahat. Mahat is the cosmic intelligence. So there are five components in this, and in our subsequent slides, we will talk about these five components. So out of this, the meaning of evolutes is that which is produced and produces. Sorry, evolvent is that which is produced and produces, and evolute is that which is produced and does not produce. So I will give an example in the subsequent slide. So if we go slightly deeper into this, the group of seven consists of one buddhi, one ahamkara, and five tanmatras. I don't know whether it is blocked again, but let me just shift this block somewhere else. So it talks about one buddhi, one ahamkara, and five tanmatras that complete to put together is a group of seven evolvents. Then 16 principles, I have one manas, that is man or mind, we call it, 10 indriyas and 5 mahabhutas. So I think we also talked about this in my earlier presentation, but here we'll slightly deep dive on this. Then I have also picked up one particular shloka again from the Sankhya Karika, which talks about sattva rajas tamasa samyavastha, means when you are let me talk about that state. It says, thus purusha is never bound, never released, nor does it go through transmigration. Prakriti, on the other hand, being the support for the entire creation, goes through transmigration, is bound and is also released. So which is what we talked on the earlier slide also. So the when I was calling about the state, which is a pre-Big Bang state, I was calling maybe a very wrong terminology to say, but that's the state where your sattva, raja, and tama, they are in the samya avastha, means they are equal proportion, 33% if you consider. So 33, 33, 33. So they nullify each other, and that's the space where there is nothing. So when they cancel each other in the samya avastha, it is there is nothing, absolutely nothing. So basically primordial principle is nothing, in the sense nothingness, because all three, time space consciousness or sattva raja tamo, is in equal proportion, and they cancel each other, and they go in all dormant state. So this is what this particular shloka says. But Prakriti is coming out of this. So when there is a disturbance or there is a disproportionate, what do you say, qualities of sattva, raja, tama, the Prakriti will automatically happen. So there is a trigger which will happen to this samyavastha where there is nothingness, and there has to be a trigger where that proportion changes. So when the proportion changes, the Prakriti emerges out of it. So basically, that's what this particular shloka is saying. That's why I was using that word pre Big Bang and Big Bang, so people will understand that something triggered and Big Bang happened, or maybe something triggered and before pre Big Bang means there is some kind of a plasma state or some state happened before the entire Prakriti emerged out of it. So this is talking about that, and then he talks about that finally the total is 25. So Purusha leading to Mula Prakriti, Mula Prakriti and Purusha put together, giving birth to cosmic intelligence. Then 16th principle, so Mahat giving rise to Buddhi, Ahamkara, and Tamasa. And 16 evolutes are again coming out of the Mula Prakriti. That arrow I think is missing here. But there should be one arrow from Mula Prakriti coming to 16 evolutes also. So total is 25. So let us count this. So one is Purusha, then Mula Prakriti, then 16 evolutes, 7 evolvents. So all put together, it is 25. So 1 plus 10 plus 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 5 plus 1 plus 1. So total is 25. It says Iti Panchavishatir Ganaha. So there are 25 qualities or 25 uh, what to say, ingredients coming out of the entire equation, which I showed on the last slide as well as this slide. So if we have to divide this 25, the top two are unmanifested, while the remaining all which are below the line. So I have drawn one line to show that what is unmanifested and what is manifested. And this will be clear when we go into the subsequent slides. So if we want to classify these four groups, Purusha neither evolvent nor evolute, Mool Prakriti ultimate evolvent, group of 7 evolvents, and one is evolute. So if you have to go further deeper into this, neither evolvent is the Purusha is neither produced nor produces. 16 evolutes generated but cannot generate other elements. Evolvents generated and can generate other elements, but this is the prime ingredient coming out of the Mool Prakriti. So this is how the explanation goes. So we have classified those 25 into 4 major categories, and which are I have tried to map them into this one slide so that we understand how the breakup is done. So now this is the theory. Now let us come to the practical aspect of it. So I have put the same stuff which I showed you on the earlier slide. That was a bit complex, and those were my original slides, in the sense not taken from anywhere. But this is one slide which is, you Google anywhere or you find anywhere, you'll find this particular map. So it is very easy to understand. People are familiar with this kind of mapping of those 25 elements. So that's why I have picked up a very simple format which is available, and most of the participants may be familiar with this. So whatever I discussed on the earlier slides is captured here, but let me still go again. Purusha leading to Mul Prakriti, then Mahat or Buddhi, which is the cosmic intelligence, then Ahankara, mind, five senses of organs: eye, ear, nose, skin, tongue, five organs of action: hands, feet, speech, elimination, and procreation. Five tanmatras: sound, touch, form, taste, smell, and five mahabhutas: ether, air, fire, water, and earth. So I think this is a pretty simple diagram, which is the extract of the earlier slides actually. So Ahamkara is the most important factor in this whole diagram, which is nothing but ego. Ego is what the closest English word we can put for Ahamkara, which is basically the sense of I doer, that I am doing, I am existing, or something like that. So it is the feeling which tells us that I am doer, or I exist. So something like that. Is the selfish identification with body and action that causes bondage. So which is the basic cause of bondage? Ahankara. And then I will explain that why it is why it creates the bondage in the entire for all life forms. So basically, Ahankara is can be of three types. One is Sattvic, one is Tamasic, and one is Rajas. So between Ahankara can float between these three areas. So if it goes this side, you have some examples like selfless service, love, compassion, good company, noble thoughts, prayer. So this is a Sattvic Ahankara. So this side of the section. If it goes the other side, which is tamasic, then it is kind of inflicting pain, selfish, negative thoughts or negative activities, rude behavior, laziness, unethical activities. So if it is leaning towards the right side, which is what tamasic, which I am showing, you have, I'm just giving few examples, but there could be many other examples of ankara taking different forms. And if it is rajasic, which is at the center, I'm saying selfishness, conceit, desire, ambition, greed, power. So these are some of the Rajasic traits or Rajasic kind of Ankara, which can actually take the shape or acquire those properties, and then your behavior can change accordingly. Then there is something neutral, which is the Mahabhutas, which are neither forming into Sattvic or Rajasic or Tamasic, but they will acquire the properties inside the life form based on the body and the subtle body composition and the Ahankara, which is what directing it. So Panchamahabhutas are practically neutral, to so to say, but they'll acquire the qualities of based on what kind of Ahankar you may have or you might be operating from. So I am now rearranging. I have taken mine to this side and Panchamahabhutas to this side just to simplify my uh, analysis. And I am breaking down Mahat into two, that is Buddhi and Mahat. So Mahat is cosmic intelligent and Buddhi is individual intelligent of life form. So that cosmic intelligence may not be available for the individual intelligence, but individual am I audible?
There was a glitch, but it's okay now.
Hello? Okay. I think there was some connection error which came up on my screen. So basically, Buddhi I am showing as an individual here, and Mahat is a part of the overall cosmic intelligence. So this, if you classify these eight activities: Ahamkara, Buddhi, Tanmatras, and mind, they are not physical. They are all subtle. Ahamkara, Buddhi, five Tanmatras, and I'll come to what exactly the meaning of Tanmatra. And Panchamabhutas, five senses of organ, five sense organs, and five organs of action. They're all physical. So you have a physical body, so to say, and you have also a subtle body. Again, I will go deeper into this, that this is not just one body, but there are multiple koshas of this body. But I will come to that in my subsequent slide. But just for our initial understanding, those eight elements are forming a subtle body, while these remaining elements, 15 or 16 in numbers, are actually the physical body. For our simplification, so I have brought buddhi on the upper side for a reason, and I'll explain why I have done this change in the arrangement. So basically, this is the whatever is in the red box, dotted red box, is what is the human body or any life form body, whether it is any animal or any life form or human beings. They all cover this. So Mool Prakriti, as I said, and Purusha is not a part of the life form. So whatever is shown, and Mahat also to some extent is the part of the life form, because Buddhi is a partial form of the cosmic intelligence. So I will explain that also. So we'll talk about this boundary condition, all the phenomena, different phenomena which can happen in this red color box. So generally, what happens is you are in an environment so where there is all Panchama Bhutas and you are working or you are operating in that space. So what happens is your five sense organs will try to collect the information from the environment. So arrows are shown from Panchama Bhutas going to five sense organs. Five sense organs will pass it on to tanmatras, which are the subtle elements of sensing. And this is very intricate topic here. So basically, five tanmatras, based on my experience and based on my analysis, are the sensors. Because for example, your mobile phone may have 5 6 10 different types of sensors which are continuously talking to the outside environment and trying to get the information. But whatever that information comes, that needs to get translated, which the CPU or the your hardware will understand. So something like that. So our body or our sense organs, they're talking to outside, whether there is water or air or whatever. So if you put your finger in say glass of water, it will give you a sense of something water is there, and if it is hot or cold or if it is ice or whatever maybe feeling. So there are multiple sensor working at that time. One is the temperature sensor, which will tell you the temperature of that water. Then physical touch, whether it is water or air or any other composition, that will know. If you drink that water, you'll know the taste. So multiple sensors are working, and that sensor or those whatever is sense needs to get translated from a subtle body to the physical body. So tanmatra is a subtle body. So it's a sensor which is in the subtle body, which that subtle body is interacting with the environment, because your body is not directly interacting with the environment. So though your sense organs are bringing that information, that needs to be converted, which your body will understand or your brain will understand. And then tanmatras are the interfaces between your physical body and, so for example, your brain and your actual sense organ. Somebody needs to convert that information. So tanmatras are the elements which are actually working like sensors, which are converting that information and then giving it to where they'll give this information. It goes to your mind. So, and this is all happening in real time. It doesn't take long. I mean, it a split of a second, all this is happening. So you are getting information from the environment through your senses. Then the tanmatras converting that into the language which mind will understand. Mind will quickly analyze it and produce some multiple options and give it to buddhi. So mind is not adding any value except it is analyzing. In the sense, if it gets some 20 inputs, it will quickly analyze and give three good decisions to buddhi. Okay, I have analyzed this situation. These are the options I am giving you. So what buddhi is doing, buddhi picks up one best option out of it. So buddhi is also not applying its mind on the analysis part of it. It is leaving it to mind to do the all the analysis part of it. So mind has to analyze all these things and work out the best solutions, but it will never give one solution. It will give three, four options to Buddhi, and the Buddhi has to pick up the best option. Whatever that option is picked up by Buddhi, it goes to Ahankara. The Ahankara takes the decision actually. Buddhi also says, no, I have picked up the best option, I give it to you. You are the guide. You take the decision or you take the action. Now, depending on in which state of Ahankara it is, it will decide whether it is taking a decision on the sattvic side or rajasic side or tamasic side. So it may go tamasic side. So, for example, if you meet with an accident, somebody just touches your vehicle and passes by, so there is a scratch or something, and then you go and catch him. At that time, your mind has analyzed all these options, given it to Buddhi. Buddhi says, okay, I have to do something at this situation. Maybe uh, if it decision is I should punish this guy or whatever your decision, maybe Buddhi will give you as a. But what to punish? If it is tamasic, that fellow will go maybe slap him or maybe ask for 2,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees and give some abusive language, and then even if it is not his fault. If it is say Rajasik, he will say, boss, it is maybe your fault as well as my fault, but okay, there's so much damage to me, so much damage to you, but okay, better take care next time. So you'll give him some maybe raise your voice, give him some advice or caution him and blah blah blah, and then you will leave him actually. If you are Satvik, sorry, Satvik is gone. So that arrow, if it is Satvik, you may actually say, "Ki, okay, maybe it is a bad luck, maybe it was a bad day, but maybe it's not your fault. I know you, it's not your fault. But okay, still your vehicle is damaged. Okay, you will take 1,000 rupees and you go away. So your Buddhi has told you to take a decision, but depending on which ahankara you are operating from at that point of time, you may take a call and then advise your action, the five organs of action to take the action. So in this whole exercise, now if you understand this Sankhya Yoga, it starts with this within these 25 elements. Out of that, we have kept Prakriti and Purusha outside of this, and Mahat so far we are keeping it outside. But the remaining ones are in action for every incident, every moment, every part of your life. And who is creating? So if it is clear up to here, then let me go to the next slide. So, who is creating the karma here in this whole exercise? Who is creating the karma? Let us go one by one. Panchamahabhutas, they have no role. Let's say environmental, and they are not creating any karma for you. Sense of organ is only collecting information and giving it to tanmatras, and mind is only analyzing. So they are also not connecting. They are also not doing any karma. Buddhi is like taking decision, and Buddhi says to Ankara ki, okay, you take the decision. So Buddhi is also not creating any karma. So who is creating karma? It's Ankara who is creating the karma and creating the bondage for you, because depending on which type of uh, activity or which type of actions you are taking through your ahankara is going to create a bondage for you, continuous bondage from your maybe for past life, present life, or wherever you are, every moment you are doing something. It is the ahankara who is actually creating the karma, and it is the ahankara who is creating the bondage for you. So rest of the guys are okay, they have no role to play except they are doing their job actually. Only in some certain cases that ahankara, instead of telling our organs to take the action, if it tells the mind to take the action, in the sense if it tells mind to start dreaming or tells the mind to really start thinking in a bad way, or maybe jealousy or maybe any kind of bad thinking, and if it is asking that imagination to happen through mind, then mind is actually doing the karma. In that case, mind becomes the culprit. So that's why we are saying that if mind remains only as an analysis portion, then mind is not doing the karma. But if ahankara in certain situations creating that karma through mind, so that you are not actually hitting the person, but in your mind you are already hitting that person. In the sense, even if you meet with an accident, you may go shake hands with him and slapping him 2 times. So your mind is creating that work that time. So it is also creating a bondage for you. So In some cases, when your mind is in action, though not visible, it is still creating that bondage for you or some kind of karma for you. So this is the sum and substance of the, in a very simplistic way, I'm putting it here. It is not so easy, but just for our audience to understand that how. So now I will go to Panchakosha. So again, I'm mapping Panchakoshas with these 23 elements here. So, Annamaya Kosha, there are five koshas which are mentioned in Taittiriya Upanishad, and they are very popularly known and described in many of the spiritual talks. So, Annamaya Kosha is what? It is related to your body. You are eating, you are digesting, and all your organ of actions and senses, they form a body. So, that's your Annamaya Kosha. Tanmatra. This is Tanmatra, they cause the pranic movement. So I will explain that phenomena because that's the crux of this whole understanding, the science behind the operations of Sankhya Yoga. So Tanmatra are actually causing the pran to move up and down in life form or in human beings. So that is called prana, movement of prana. So that's a pranamaya kosha. So your Tanmatra is nothing but your pranamaya kosha. Then mind, man, is a manomaya kosha. So which is the third kosha, which are not, though they are very generically use these words that there are five koshas, but they are not actually the one on another, but these are different aspects of your body. So we start with Annamaya kosha, go to Pranamaya kosha on Tanmatras, then go to mind and Manomaya kosha, then we go to Buddhi and we call it Vijnanamaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, which means nothing but your intelligence, your vijnan or your jnana. So it is the knowledge coming out of buddhi. So that's your fourth kosha or the you so to say the subtle body which is associated with the buddhi. And the most important is the fifth body, which is the anandamaya kosha, which is associated with ahankara. Now, audience may wonder that where is Ahankara and where is Anandamaya Kosha? There is no linkage, but the linkage is the day your Ahankara starts to diminish, your Ananda starts to go up. So there is an inverse proportion. So all other four koshas are directly connected to the respective qualities of the body or the subtle body, but Anandamaya Kosha is inversely proportionate to your Ahankara because why everybody says that we need to control our ahankara, bring down our ahankara, make it zero. So actually zero is like your samadhi state. So your anandamaya kosha is at its peak when your ahankara is at zero. So if your ahankara is at 50%, your anandamaya is also at 50%. So as you are decreasing your ahankara, you are increasing your anandamaya kosha basically. So this is how I have mapped it, and this kind of mapping is not done by anybody, but I am doing it because after analyzing it, I realize how and from where these annamaya and these five koshas have come basically. So they are coming from the Sankhya philosophy, and I am showing you the Sankhya philosophy, and I am also showing you the mapping of the five pancha koshas associated with various aspects. So I think here I will take a bit pause if anybody has any questions or any suggestions so far. If not, then we'll continue because we have covered many aspects. They are very complex. I have tried to cover it in 15-20 minutes or maybe half an hour's time. But this is the philosophy, the foundational philosophy of our uh, Vedic science or Vedic philosophy. So, any questions from you, Anand, or
No, I think this is
Sanjay?
very clear so far. So no
Yeah.
questions from my side. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we move forward then.
Yes, we can move forward.
Okay. So now I have tried to map the way I tried to map the five Panchakoshas with the Sankhya Yoga. I am also trying to now map Patanjali's Yoga Sutra or Ashtanga Yoga, what we call it, with this similar arrangement here. So basically, Yama and Niyama, which are restraints or ethics or observations, they are pretty generic, applicable to most of the topics here. For example, I will read the Yama, which is non-violence, truthfulness, non-stealing, chastity, non-greed. So I think these are all typically explained in the Patanjali's Yoga Sutra in great details. Then niyama is personal discipline, purity, containment, discipline, self-study, surrender. So here also they're talking surrender, which is nothing but ahankara. So unless you surrender, your ahankara will not come down. So these are all yama and niyama are the kind of given things, in the sense basic things for you to climb this ladder. So the third one comes the asana, which is nothing but associated with your five organs of action. Also, it helps the other aspects like your mind and buddhi and other things, but predominantly asana is what you're refining your sitting posture or whichever posture in which you want to do your yoga activities. So it is a physical, stable, and comfortable pose meant to uh, I think I am not able to read it here. For where in the posture in which you can sit in a comfortable way and do your meditation and activity. So which is associated with the action organs of action. Then comes the pranayama, breath control, which is nothing but talking about tanmatras. So your pranayama is an activity of tanmatras. So which is the breath control and expansion and regulation of vital energy to calm the mind. So I will explain the operation of tanmatra at the end because I don't want to complicate the topic. But believe me, pranayama is associated with tanmatras and through tanmatras, we are controlling the movement of the pranaya. So we call it pranayama, which is the fourth stage of the Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. Then the fifth one is pratyahara and dharana, which is the mind stuff. Basically, it says directing the senses inward. So senses means the five is five. The number five pratyahara is associated with sense organs. So eye, ear, nose, skin, tongue. It says you directing the senses inwards, disconnecting from external distraction, and dharana, which is concentration, which is the mind stuff where you are focusing with the help of the mind, going on to very focused attention on any aspect, whether it is your guru, your god, or any specific object, or any specific part of the body, or maybe your mind, or any aspect which you are focusing and concentrating, that is called dharana, which is the mind stuff basically. Then we go to seventh item, which is dhyana, meditation, which is a part of the buddhi. So, which is uninterrupted deep concentration or contemplation. So you are actually now leaving all other aspects of the body and only focusing on your buddhi. And through your buddhi, you are trying to go deeper into your concentration uninterrupted, and that's how the buddhi gets associated with the meditation. And then the final steps is the samadhi, which is ahankara. But when this seventh step will happen, or sorry, eighth step will happen only when you leave buddhi behind and make your ahankara zero, then only that eighth step is possible basically. What is that eighth step? It's a state of deep bliss and union with the divine, where the self merges with the object of meditation. Basically, you are actually getting unified with the ultimate mm, truth. So basically, that's the samadhi where your ahankar, your INS is gone, and your oneness with the ultimate authority or ultimate satya, and your buddhi is behind, your man is behind, your all senses, tanmatra, they are of no use to you. You're left them behind. So basically, you're leaving one by one all these activities, either controlling them or withdrawing yourself or detaching yourself, and then climbing this ladder. So this is what Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, in a very simplistic way, in one page, I have tried to cover. Basically, my topic is not, it was neither to describe Panchakoshas or the Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, but my topic is Sankhya Yoga. But I'm trying to superimpose this concept so that the concept will be very clear, that any book you read, anywhere you read, ultimately they will come back to Sankhya Yoga in some way or other. And that's why we call Sankhya Yoga the foundational yoga on which all the philosophies are built from time to time. And they get you can cross-reference them as needed, and also study them individual streams also. But finally, they will come and meet at one point only. So far, I have covered Yoga Sutra and Panchakoshas. I think hopefully it is clear. Let me go to the next topic, which is bit tough. So, any questions so far? Then I will, because now I'm going step by step, little deeper into the topic. So, any questions still so far? If not, then I will continue further.
None from my side.
Okay, great. So now I will compare this with Gita, and whole of Gita I can compare whether all 18 chapters or maybe at least 17 chapters starting from chapter number 2. But we don't have so much time. And what I have done is I have taken only four examples how I am correlating. But if you read Gita and if you understand Sankhya Yoga and then read Gita, Bhagavad Gita, I think every shloka will be very clear how it fits into this uh, structure of Sankhya Yoga. So I have taken one example, which is of course a very famous quote or famous. But before I go there, chapter 2, because I'm focusing on chapter 2, which is the Sankhya Yoga in the Bhagavad Gita. It talks about two yogas in that Gita, chapter 2. Though the name is Sankhya Yoga, it has, if you break it down, it has got Jnana Yoga, that is knowledge. I will explain it, and then Nishkama Karma Yoga. So the chapter 2 talks about two yogas. One is Jnana Yoga and Nishkama Karma Yoga. Apparently, they are conflicting or contradictory to each other, but in my mind, they are same actually. The Jnana Yoga and Nishkam Karma Yoga is same, and I'll explain it to you in a bit of in a while. So, Jnana Yoga is what? Path of knowledge or yoga of wisdom. That is called Jnana Yoga. And Nishkama Karma Yoga is path of desireless work or yoga of selfless action. So these are the two yogas which we are going to talk with four examples. And of course, I'll start with Ahankara. So there is one very famous shloka out of this chapter number 2. Karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala hetur bhurmate sangostva karmani. So I have put the Hindi context or the translation also because English may not have the word to word translation. So I will just read that also. तेरा कर्म करने में भी अधिकार है उसके फलों में कभी नहीं इसलिए तू कर्मों के फल का हेतु मत हो तथा तेरी कर्म न करने में भी आसक्ता न हो. So what it is saying is why it has, first of all, is there a correlation? Apparently, there is no correlation of Ahankara and this particular shloka, but I will put that association now. I'll explain that association. So, by doing something, your Ahankara goes up actually. So, I have worked so hard, I must get promotion this year. I am so capable, my other peers are not so capable, but I don't get the attention I need. My boss always favors somebody else. So, you are doing something and actually building Ahankara for yourself, which means you are creating a bondage for yourself. This whole Sankhya Yoga says don't create any bondage, don't create any karma. That is the philosophy. So, but the shloka says you that doesn't mean you stop working. It says the last line says that doesn't mean you stop working because every moment you are working, every moment you can create a bondage for yourself, and your life can keep extending in uh, lives after lives after lives. You will never be able to finish your karmas and the bondage. So what he says, not doing is not the option, but do it, but don't expect the outcome. You don't have control on the results. Na? You don't worry about the results. You keep doing your work. So don't create arankara for yourself. So in some other adhyayas, it also talks about surrender. So bhakti yoga and other things. So basically, it all talks about reducing the ahankara. So this particular example why I picked up is because it is known to everyone, and this is the best way to reduce your ankar. And when you reduce your ankar or nullify it, that means you are actually liberating yourself. You are not creating a new bondage or new karma for yourself. So that's how this association comes in particular shloka. I will go to next example where I have picked up now buddhi. So Lord Krishna doesn't stop at ankara. He also gives some shlokas in the same chapter 2. It says, I will just read the Hindi. हे धनंजय, तू आसक्ति का त्याग कर तथा सिद्धि और असिद्धि में समान बुद्धि वाला होकर योग में स्थित हुआ कर्तव्य कर्मों को कर. समत्व ही योग कहलाता है. So he says, okay, you are not able to control your ahankar. It may tilt towards sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, and may not go away. So he says, who is giving you the decision making? I explained you. Buddhi is one who gives you the option. Na? So buddhi को ही समत्व भाव में ला दे. So bring buddhi itself in the kind of a situation where buddhi will give you the options which will not excite you or which will not create additional bondage for you. So he says, of course, our ahankara, I have told you what to do, but I will also give you few tips here that how you control your buddhi. You have to remember the chart which I showed you as a beginning, that how the whole decision making process happens. So buddhi is the predecessor or the earlier activity of the ahankara to take decision. So he says now control your buddhi and take buddhi into saman bhav so that it will not give you options which will unnecessarily create for you a difficult situation. And same thing he says in the same verse number 50, समबुद्धि युक्त पुरुष पुण्य और पाप दोनों के इसी लोक में त्याग देता है, अर्थात उनसे मुक्त हो जाता है। इससे तू समत्व रूप योग में लग जा। यह समत्व रूप योग ही कर्मों में कुशलता है, अर्थात कर्म बंधन से छूटने का उपाय है। सो ही सेज, if your ahankar is not in your control, please control your buddhi at least and ensure that you look at it, all the situations, your decision making process, and keep doing work. Don't stop your work, but in that you, the last word says, कर्म में ही कुशलता है, अर्थात कर्म बंधन से छूटने का उपाय है। So समत्व रूप योग will itself will, so this is all in Sankhya Yoga. I'm talking Sankhya Yoga. It's not a Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is a different chapter, but in this Sankhya Yoga itself, these two examples I am giving from chapter number 2. Then Lord Krishna doesn't stop here. He says, I'll give you two more tips. Let's go to sense organs. He says, ठीक है, तुम्हारा बुद्धि काम नहीं कर रहा है, और your intelligence is not helping you, or your buddhi is not helping you. Okay, go one level below. Try to control. He says, the first one, श्लोका नंबर 50, it says, और कछुआ सब ओर से अपने अंगों को जैसे समेट लेता है, वैसे ही जब यह पुरुष इंद्रियों को विषयों से इंद्रियों के सब प्रकार से हटा लेता है, तब उसकी बुद्धि स्थिर है. So what he's saying, okay, go to your senses, withdraw them, detach them from the Vishaya, in the sense with wherever they are engaging or wherever they have the inclination, you withdraw itself. So he has given multiple options how to reduce ahankara. He has given you multiple options how to keep buddhi in control. Now he's going one level below and he's saying, okay, you control your senses so that the information which is getting processed, which I talked in my earlier slide, itself will get filtered here, in the sense because your senses are senses themselves are detached, or getting detached, or actually processing that information in a different way, so that your mind doesn't get excited, it will not give some options. The buddhi doesn't get excited, it will not give wrong options. Your ankara doesn't take a hasty decision, and even if it takes hasty decision, you're going to get additional karma created. So don't do that. So he says you withdraw, and so this is what he says. Then the last one, 61, he says, इसीलिए साधक को चाहिए कि वह उन संपूर्ण इंद्रियों के वश में करके समाहित चित्त हुआ मेरे परायण होकर ध्यान में बैठे, क्योंकि जिस पुरुष की इंद्रिया वश में होती है उसी की बुद्धि स्थिर होती है. सो ही सेज, आई टोल्ड यू हाउ टू कीप बुद्धि स्टेडी, बट आई एम गिविंग यू वन मोर टिप, that you, if you withdraw your senses or keep them under control, your buddhi will be automatically samatva buddhi, in the sense automatically a very balanced way of processing of the intelligence or the knowledge. Okay, he doesn't stop there. He goes one level further. He says, now I'll give you two more tips on the mind. Because ultimately, then hold this loop from your external environment, through tanmatras, through senses, through mind, through buddhi, your ankara is getting multiple inputs. So we are trying to help you here. This is not my word, this is from the Gita chapter 2. So he says that the 66, ना जीते हुए मन और इंद्रिय वाले पुरुष की निश्चयात्मिका बुद्धि नहीं होती है. So what he's saying is कि जिसका मन कंट्रोल में नहीं है, so if your mind is out of control or is not in your control, then your whatever options you are giving to buddhi will of no use. It will keep creating karmas. So he says, उस अयुक्त मनुष्य के अंतःकरण में भावना ही नहीं होती तथा भावनाहीन मनुष्य को शांति नहीं मिलती और शांति रहित मनुष्य को सुख कैसे मिल सकता है। इसलिए हे महाभाव, जिस पुरुष की इंद्रियों के विषयों से सब प्रकार निग्रह हुई है उसी की बुद्धि स्थिर है। सो wherever that mind and your senses are withdrawn or under control, then only your options of processing the information which you are going to feed to buddhi and then finally to ankara will be what you are looking for actually. So basically, to summarize my Sankhya Yoga here, because I don't want to go too much deep also. So mind I'm connecting back to Taittiriya Upanishad, where I said mind is nothing but thoughts or time. Then black color boxes is nothing but your body or your space, and your ahankara buddhi tanmatras is nothing but your subtle body or your consciousness. So time space consciousness is actually mapped on this Sankhya Yoga, and which I was trying to map on Taittiriya Upanishad also, where we went through some slides in my earlier presentation. Now I am trying to sum up and bring it to the point where now I am ready to go back to Taittiriya Upanishad. So I think here I'll end my presentation on Sankhya Yoga. If any question or any query is there, you can ask me. Otherwise, I'm going back to the earlier topic where we left earlier, and now we are connecting back to Taittiriya Upanishad. So, any question or any point here you want to say?
Anant has a question.
Yeah,
Uh, Hemant, I don't have a question. I just want to kind of applaud your clarity. We do discuss all of these points on the QAW forum, but doing this in a graphic way, mapping it out crystal clear into flow graphs, and then kind of superimposing the various yogs or the understanding of the various yogs. These are different perceptions of the same fundamental principles, gives tremendous wide appreciation. So we thank you highly for all the things that you have done so far. So kindly proceed. Thank you very much.
okay, great, thank you. So I want to take pause in some kind of break in between just to understand whether we are going in the right direction or not. Otherwise, it will just be one way, and I will not know whether the things are getting clearer or whether I need to spend more time on any of the slides. Like last time you said I should spend more time on each slide or maybe repeat everything one more time. So I hope I have simplified or rather oversimplified it this time so that the question won't or it will not come in anybody's mind at this point of time. Okay,
Yes,
so
I think this
so
slide is
far,
very self-explanatory and very well elucidated. You have all the different five tanmatras, mahabhutas, organs of action. So yeah, this is perfect.
great. Thanks, Aditya. So far, I have not talked about one item which is called Mahat. I discuss all this, but Mahat is a cosmic intelligence and it has a tremendous, what do you say, role to play on every life form. In the sense, I will say that everything is in Mahat's hand. In the sense, it is the cosmic intelligence which is actually creating the lifespan's entire life, how it goes. It is actually not in individual's hand. It is in cosmic intelligence or the uh, outcome of Purusha and Moola Prakriti and whatever the cosmic what is say environment or this universe where we live in. So we have a tremendous impact or the influence of the external factors, which includes the space around us, the place where we live, the solar system, sun and moon especially, then outer planets, then beyond solar system, the our galaxy, or first of all our immediate constellations which are very close to our solar system, what we call as nakshatras, and then beyond nakshatras. So I think that Mahat is tremendous. It's a huge universe which has a. So far, I was talking about you have control on your mind, control your ankara, control your buddhi, control your sense organs, and blah blah, tanmatras and everything. But the question comes: is it in really in your hand, or you are just playing the way it is planned by the cosmic intelligence? So Mahat plays a very important role, and for this, to understand how Mahat works, we need to go back to Taittiriya Upanishad. So, certain things, see, our scriptures are very what to say, very peculiar in a way that in one scripture you won't find all the answers. The theme is same, the concepts are same, but not all answered. So Taittiriya Upanishad will answer some queries, Sankhya Yoga will answer some queries, maybe Gita will give some different perspective and answer some queries. So that was the reason I tried to connect all this together so that we come on one platform and then we may have different situations coming out of it, different scriptures getting connected to each other. So in Taittiriya Upanishad, they have explained two concepts, Mahat and Tanmatras, in greater detail. So that's why my topic, because everybody must be wondering why I picked up one particular Upanishad and one particular philosophy, and I'm trying to bridge them together or bring them together and propose something which may work, may not work. But the idea is that you don't get answer in one scripture fully. So it is very essential that we connect with others and they will have the same platform but different aspect or different deep dive analysis of very specific situations. So Mahat and for five Tanmatras we will cover in the next session or the next slides or subsequent slides where I'm now going to Taittiriya Upanishad. So I think we stopped last time here at physical body and energy body, balancing the forces. So,
So, sorry to
and
interrupt. I have one question about
yeah,
Mahat.
ah,
So is there a relationship between Mahat and the seven lokas we have, right? Uh, Bhu, Bhuva, Swaha, Maha, Jana, Tapa, Satyam. So that Mahar Loka, is there any relationship between this Mahat and the Mahar Loka?
yeah. So Bhuva, Swaha, they're all time, space, consciousness, and Mahat. These are the four qualities of the interactions which we are actually getting subjected to. So that is coming in Taittiriya Upanishad. So it will be in my subsequent slide. I have covered Bhu, Swaha, and
Okay,
Maha. So
okay.
all four will come. Beyond that seven, the other ones, Jana, Tapa, and all that, I have not considered here, nor the scripture talks about it. So the Taittiriya Upanishad talks about only these four lokas. I mean, they may call be lokas or whatever. They don't call it lokas in this Taittiriya Upanishad, but they cover these four aspects in the Taittiriya Upanishad. So I have covered only four. Maybe there is further research required on the other three lokas, that what exactly that means. So that we will, at least today, I don't have answer for that actually.
Sure, no problem. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I talked about this. This is just a representation. Don't think that subtle body actually looks like this. This is just for the simplicity. I have put together some good-looking pictures, but and just to understand the concept. So space is associated with creation that we saw earlier, and time is associated with destruction. And this is just you take Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Brahma is with the creation, which is the space, cosmic space, and Mahesha or the Mahankal is the Kal. Kal means time. Time is with destruction, so is the destroyer. So we have this Trimurti, or we call it Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. So one is the creator, then of course your organizer, and a destroyer. So simplistic. So time is of course associated with destruction, and space with creation. And creation and destructions are continuously happening in the universe. So you see, even at every level, from atom to lives to galaxies or to planets and stars. So they are taking birth as well as they're dying. So there are different stages in the entire universe. So they are getting created also, and they are getting died also, or merge, or maybe just mm, go somewhere. So it happens at microscopic level, and of course at a very large cosmic level also. So, in spite this continuous creation and destruction process, there still is a dynamic balance, stability, and equilibrium in the universe. Creating forces are originating from space and balancing out destructive forces. So, why we're still surviving? Because these creative forces and the destructive forces are balancing each other. That's why this universe is there. That's why you and we are there. Even at individual levels, this your creative forces, the day creative forces and your destructive forces get out of control or get imbalanced, you are no more, you are gone. So that's life is ended. So till the time these forces are balanced with each other, the life exists. Otherwise, it changes the form, it goes to the next form. So these, I'm just pictorially showing, they are not actually like this working on the body, but just for simplicity, your destructive forces and your creative forces are balancing out each other. There this imbalance happens in this, the body will take another shape or another life form. So we talked about last time Purva Rupam and Uttara Rupam. So this is the Uttara Rupam, which is the northern forms. So creative energies, original forms are internal to the form, align eastern to the form, and are more vibratory. They are more energetic in nature and have more influence on the form. And destructive energies originated from time are external to the form, less vibratory, and align northwards to the form. They have more regulatory power on internal energies of the form. So again, this is pictorial. In body, you will not find anything like this. Just for the simplicity purpose, I have put arrows like this. So one is showing towards north, one is showing towards east. So eastern forms, northern forms. Total different properties. One is creative energy, one is destructive energy. But they get balanced. They get, so somebody, there is one agency which holds them together. So at the intersection of these forces or at energies, these are the energies, at the intersection of these energies, we call it Sandhi. So the Taittiriya Upanishad calls them, one is Uttara Rupam, one is Purva Rupam. Where they meet is called Sandhi. Sandhi means the union, where they unite or meet together. And Sandhanam. So they not just interact, but they get kind of glued there, or they get fixed there. They don't run away from each other. So they get, so that is called, so four agencies we need to understand: Purvarupam, Uttararupam, Sandhi, and Sandhanam. And this whole arrangement is called Sanhita. So there are five Sanhitas in every life form, which I am going to explain these five Sanhitas, which are explained in Taittiriya Upanishads, which are equivalent to Tanmatra. So Tanmatra we talked in Sankhya Yoga, there where they never use these Sandhi Sanhita words, they use Tanmatras. But in Taittiriya Upanishad, for the same concept, they are calling Sanhitas. And in maybe another scripture, they may be calling something else, but we need to really connect and not get too much carried away with the nomenclature or the way they are described, but the understanding the principle or the how fundamentally they are working, how fundamentally they are getting form. So that is the idea for today's session also. So that is the first level of existence, the form or form in universe, when creative energies and destructive energies are able to stay together. The creative energy is internal to form and the destructive energy is external to form. So Sandhya and Sanhita I already explained. And however, we know that energies do not have the moment of stability. The question is, how do they stay together in the form and how do they achieve dynamic stability? So these are the two important questions, which are that how do they stay together? So that third agency, Sandhi, we need to understand. And how do they form a dynamic stability? Because they're continuously moving energies. So my body form is there today, maybe it is tomorrow not there. So is it so flimsy, or it is so easy to get distracted, or how do they stay together? So there is a dynamic stability or a equilibrium achieved in all these different energy, which is what I showed in the very first slide. Incidentally, I will take a moment here to go back to my earlier slides just for refreshing the memories for all the people who have watched my or seen my earlier presentation. So this is the body I talked about. One is the cosmic energy of direction, Aryaman, cosmic energy of thought energy, that is in Indra, cosmic internal thought energy, which is Bruhaspati, cosmic externalizing power, Mitra, cosmic space, Brahma, cosmic oscillating life energy, Vayu, cosmic power of order, Vishnu, and cosmic internalizing power, which is Varuna. And now I will spend a minute on this slide. Then we'll go back to those Sanhitas and Sandhis and different states of equilibrium. But for the simplicity, our rishis or our great sages of the bygone era, they have put this into also into a mythology. Now I will tell you example of all these energies, how they get translated into Mahabharata. Just a may not be topic for today, but since it is, otherwise it will not be interesting if I keep talking. So Bruhaspati, who represents Bruhaspati in Mahabharata? It is Dronacharya. Dronacharya was supposed to be the son of Bruhaspati. Okay, fine. Now, who represents Indra in Mahabharata? Arjuna. Arjuna was supposed to be son of Indra. Now, cosmic astrology power Mitra. Who was associated with Mitra? That is son. Of course, Karna, which is a very powerful character in Mahabharata. So, it is represented by Karma. Cosmic space Brahma. Who represented Brahma in mythology in our Mahabharata? It was Krupacharya. Krupacharya was the fourth son of Brahma. Okay, who was Vayu in Mahabharata? It was Bhim. He was the son of Vayu. So Bhim represents Vayu in Mahabharata. Who represented Vishnu or the cosmic power of order? Of course, the reincarnation of Vishnu, which is Lord Krishna, or the God Krishna. Then finally, who represented cosmic internalizing power? Varuna. So Varuna was actually the Bhishmacharya was son. So Bhishmacharya represents Varuna, but indirectly, I'll tell you how. Bhishmacharya was the son of our river Ganga, Ganga Mata, and Shantanu Raja. And Shantanu was representation of Varuna. So that's how, and Varuna is associated with water, which is Ganges, which is the river Ganga. So there is all these energies are very meaningful. The characters are extremely powerful. I have other characters also which are associated with different energies. But we need to also understand not just the story of Mahabharata and how those characters were built, what was the underlying philosophy of those characters. So if you take, I will not spend too much time, but if you take Indra and Bruhaspati, one is Guru and one is Shishya. And that's the best combination we can see. One is Arjuna, we have best disciple, and we have Dronacharya, the best teacher ever. So that's how, and that is associated with our external thought energy. So I have knowledge going out, knowledge coming in. So these are energies represented in a very unique way in our mythology. So now, once you understand this, last time I explained this in in the realm of energies or the flows, different flows. But now I just explained you with the examples of the mythology, and you can pick up any scripture mythological, and you will be able to associate many things related to our Taittiriya Upanishad and the Sankhya Yoga. So basically, the writers were same. Veda Vyasa wrote everything. So he wrote these Upanishads also, and he wrote Mahabharata also. So there is a big connection between the characters, their representation, their association with different energies, with the philosophy, with the science of the Taittiriya Upanishad. So all that goes hand in hand. And once you start understanding it, you will be able to connect all those dots together. Then in that case, whenever whichever book you open, you'll be able to connect immediately on that page 1 or page 10 or whichever page you open. You don't need any understanding or any scratching of your head, ki, "Arey, what is this?" So it will automatically get connected. So that is what I'm trying to bring here, that all this is all connected. And once you start understanding these concepts, you'll be able to correlate the various philosophies. So this is just again the same picture. Let me go to the next form. So who is binding these two energies? I told you Purva Rupam and Uttar Rupam. So thus discovered another agency in the universe that possesses both the qualities of inner and outer energies, but placed in space in a neutralizing mode. This agency is nothing but consciousness. So I gave a couple of definitions of the consciousness in my earlier last week's or last month's presentation. But here is the one more definition coming from Taittiriya Upanishad, which is the binding. Hence, the first level of existence in the realm of consciousness is established at the form with the help of consciousness. This dynamic balance of energies happening at the form is called the great balance of balancing feat of nature. So that's how the first level of existence comes into play with just simple two energies and one energy binding them. But we, human body or all the life forms, they have multiple energies getting, what do you say, bound by consciousness. So the next verse or next unwork from Taittiriya Upanishads, I will not read out everything, but I have highlighted something in red color. So which talks about five levels or five types of sanhitas happening in any life form. One is called Adhilokam, Adhijautisham, Adhividyam, Adhiprajam, Adhyatmam. So these are the five levels of interactions of energies happening in this subtle body, where there are five different northern forms, five different eastern forms getting intersecting or crossing each other, and that at those five locations there is sandhi happening with the help of the consciousness, and they stay in place. So these are the five different things. I will not go too much into details, but the combination one is time space consciousness, which is supporting form. Then second one is time space consciousness supporting awareness of forms. Then again, third level, it is time space consciousness supporting knowledge. Then time space consciousness supporting creative potential, and similarly supporting the essence. So these are at five levels, these interactions are happening. So, and the great, ultimate balance is who is holding all these five together. So these individually they are bound, individually they are held in a particular space or location, but who is keeping a track of this five not going any in five different directions? So there is some agency which is also holding this five together, and that's how the complete subtle body gets formed actually, which then gets connected to your gross body, which I explained in my earlier talks also. So this is again not a very technical, what to say, explanation, but for simplicity purpose, I'm using some diagrams. Don't think it is something like that is there in our body, but only just to clarify my concept. So if you show something like these five different interactions happening, they don't happen this way, but for the explanation purpose, I'm showing like this. But if you consider them as, say, not arrows, just two-dimensional, but say three-dimensional, if you consider, then Sandhi and Sanhita happens. Suppose there is a northern form going vertical and eastern form going horizontal, and they meet at one place. And that shape will look like this is called a bicylinder, or it is called a strain-made solid. So basically, it is a kind of a subtle body. It is an arrangement in the subtle body. There is nothing, no physical particle or part like this in anybody's body. But these are all energy structures which are getting formed because of the Sanhitas and because of the Sandhi happening and Sanhita taking place. And they may be different shapes. So there may not be same size cylinders which I am showing. They may be one small, one big, or maybe some different shape, hexagonal, maybe, or those things is not in my scope for today's presentation, but there is a deeper science on that topic also. But just for simplicity, let's assume that they meet at, and there is some such energy structure which is getting created at these five different locations. Now, those what are those five arrangements? So I will just talk about Purva Rupam. So there are five different Purva Rupams. One is Prithvi, Agni, Acharya, Mata, and Adharahanu. Then there are five Uttara Rupams, and this is again coming from Taittiriya Upanishad. Dau, Aditya, Antevasi, Pitar, Uttarahanu. So these are all five Uttara Rupam. And there are five sandhis happening. So first sandhi is happening in Akash, second is Aap, third is Vidya, fourth is Praja, and fifth is Vak. And what are the Sanhitas? Sandhanam, what are the Sandhanam? So Vayu is one Sandhan, Vaidyutam is second, Pravachana is third, Prajanan is fourth, and Jiva is the fifth. So we will again, this is a very tough, difficult topic, even for me to explain and even for audience to understand exactly what is happening. So we will not go too much deeper, but assume that some such energy structure is happening in our body, which plays a vital role in our day-to-day activities, right from how our mind works, how our buddhi works, how our ahankara works, how our tanmatra works, how our physical body works. from where we get input, how they are processed. So all that, for deeper understanding of that, we need to really understand the structure first. So today I may not be able to answer everything or give a very deep understanding or explanation of this. But if you start doing meditation, you will start experiencing these things over a period of time. And that is what is the actual intention of today's presentation, that one day you experience this, because these are all bookish concepts, so to say, unless you really experience them. Somebody may say there is nothing like this in our body, there is no subtle body. But somebody will say, yes, I have experienced that subtle body. So there are different opinions on this. But I am just explaining whatever is given in the Taittiriya Upanishad verbatim. I am not adding anything here from my side. Just I have copied pasted it here, and I'm trying to explain this concept in a very simplistic way with some pictures, diagrams. In reality, nothing like that is there in our body, but at least you'll understand the concepts. So here, these are the, I will just show you one or two diagrams rather than going through this text here, because so what is supporting the forms? First was, I think, sorry, first one was supporting the forms. Yeah, the first sandhi was the supporting the form. So how are we supporting the form? So basically, this is the arrangement. It says the space between the two forms is the visible space, which is the meeting place of two forms. Any two forms always meet in space. This is the law. In this space operates the life energy, the Vayu, in its oscillating mode, linking the consciousness of the two forms alternatively by an act similar to breathing. So this is not breathing, but this is the interaction between two forms, and it is happening continuously in our life form or any body. In the incoming breathing, the external forms are linked with individual centers. In the outgoing breath, the internal centers are linked with the external centers. The form endure due to alternating energy of Vayu. So basically, I will explain this. Let us go through this text and then I will explain in a better pictorial way. Then the supporting the awareness. So supporting the awareness is with the another. So imagine now on my earlier slide. So this is, if I can bring my cursor for a minute. Yeah, so here is the first sandhi, okay, where we said northern forms, eastern forms meeting. So this is one such uh, sandhi happening here and one such happening here, and there is an interaction happening between them. Okay, so this is what is supporting the form. This is how we are supporting the form. What we call it the theory of substantiality, or we call it jadatva, in the sense your actually body mass. How do you get the body mass? So the explanation was there on the earlier slide, but it is originating from your energy structure first. Okay, and then the body is getting form around that subtle structure. Similarly, how are you supporting the awareness of the form? So that once you have a form, how are you getting that you exist? So this is the second Samhita where actually the cross northern form and eastern forms meet, and the sandhi happens at this. In my earlier slide, I have shown. Then there is third one, which is happening at the top of your head or the upper part of the head of your body, and there is an interaction happening between them. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is between different sandhis, there is an interaction happening between them, and that is called the pranic movement. Basically, prana moves from top to bottom, bottom to up, and if you see with your gross body and your subtle body, so you have the first uh, substantia, what do you call it? The first law, first sandhi was in the gross body, the other two are in the subtle body. But as a combination of all these three, your breathing starts to happen. So I have tried to show here some breathing animation I have created. So you see, you have taken the air inside, and then you're throwing it out again, throwing it again, you're inhaling it, bringing it inside, So it is following the prana. So your prana is moving from top to bottom, bottom to up, again top to bottom, bottom to up, and your breathing is following that basically. So we think that we are doing breathing with our muscles and with our lungs and other things. But yes, that may be true also. But also it is following the prana. The prana actually is making that move happen faster. And this is a combination of three different sanhitas put together. They help you breathe basically. So this is the sum and substance of the overall sanhita here. I will not go too much deep into it. Even I will not be able to explain it because this needs to be experienced. This is not a topic which somebody can actually explain. I have, in a very crude way, I'm trying to explain it, but there is nothing like this in the body except only that the conceptual. If you understand, I hope you understand it. So beyond this, I cannot say anything. So if it is clear, so this is the clear air and then the hot air going out. So this was the animation I created. So pranic movement happens because of synchronous movements between all the samhitas indicated above, leading to breathing mechanism. So this is the crux of the explanation of the Taittiriya Upanishad. And
Sorry to interrupt. I have
yeah,
two questions here.
yeah,
So first question was on an earlier slide. It was about the creative and the destructive forces being in balance in order for
mhm,
our we even for our body to sustain. I think there was some comment made like that, right? Um,
yes.
so I wanted to understand from even from a macroscopic, so that was more like a microscopic perspective, but from a macroscopic perspective also, I believe that holds true, where we can say that the seven lokas above can be the creative forces, and the seven lokas below, which are the what we call the patal, the sutala, vitala, talatala, and all those things are probably the destructive forces, and they have to both are important for that equilibrium in the universe to be maintained. Is that the right understanding?
Yes, so as I said, there are different scriptures describing it in different ways. So at least in Taittiriya Upanishad, it is not mentioned about the different 14 lokas, seven above and seven below. What Taittiriya Upanishad talks about is only five sandhis, which are
Hmm.
happening in. So I will explain only that as far as the Taittiriya Upanishad is concerned. So as far as beyond Taittiriya Upanishad, because Taittiriya Upanishad is the foundational Vedic, real Vedic, because after that, many further research happened. Even the Vedic scriptures, the Vedic gods are different, and the subsequent gods are also different. So, over a period of time, people must have upgraded, written many other things of that knowledge. But both the documents which I am explaining are the most ancient, in the sense the earlier stages of what do you say, the collection of knowledge or collection of experience, and which was put into the scriptures. This is what the Taittiriya is, the very foundational, and so is the Sankhya Yoga. Subsequent to that, many concepts came. For example, the concepts of chakras came, or many other concepts came. They came later, but in Taittiriya Upanishad there is no mention of that. So for me to say yes, you are right, I will not do that, because in as far as Taittiriya is concerned, it is there is no such concept of 14 lokas in Taittiriya Upanishad.
Got it, got it. And my second question was about the prana. So where you mentioned about the prana more in the like inhalation and the air, but the pancha pranas that have been mentioned in our scriptures may not be in the Taittiriya, but the apana, udana, samana, vyana. So how does is there any reference to in Taittiriya Upanishad to these five different energies, the pranamaya kosha?
Yes, yes. So basically, these pancha, what is vayus, what you call, are the Taittiriya Upanishad is the originator of this actually. The entire knowledge of this whatever five what do you say vayus you mentioned are a part of the Taittiriya Upanishad, and that is the interaction between various energy what to say, the sandhis which are happening. So there is a, so one is when the vayu is going inside, inhaling, it is called pranavayu. But when you're exhaling, it is called the, I guess, apanavayu. And so like that, there are multiple definitions. Again, in complete Taittiriya Upanishad, there are more than 100 shlokas. I have taken only four out of each. So I am restricting my discussion, because otherwise what will happen? It will be going in many direction and the basic concepts will not get clarified. So I'm restricting myself. So I have not introduced those uh, pancha vayus in my presentation here. Maybe there is a reference somewhere, but that is a, as I said, it comes in Bhruguvalli and then Anandavalli. So today or last time and this time we are only covering Shikshavalli of Taittiriya Upanishad. So as I said in the beginning, the Taittiriya Upanishad has got three streams. One is the Shikshavalli, which is the knowledge. Second one is the Bhruguvalli, which is the actually how you will achieve certain things. And the third one is the Anandavalli, where you realize and actually able to apply it and realize whatever has been mentioned in this knowledge. So these pancha vayus which you are mentioning are coming in Bhruguvalli and Anandvalli. So I am not covering them anywhere in this discussion, but yes, they are very much a part of the Taittiriya Upanishad.
Okay, okay, thank you. You can go ahead. Anant has a question.
Yeah, yeah, please.
Hemant, can we have an example of the northward and the eastward forms or these energies in the macrocosmos, and a mechanism similar to what we can call the pranic movement or breathing, which happens in the microcosmos or within a human body? Can you visualize or have you thought about it? And something like, I don't know, something just came to my mind is like the birth and death of a star, basically. So, and the presence of a black hole, and then further the release of neutrinos. Is there some relation to that and this?
Yes, yes. So I'll tell you. In the life forms, we have five sanhitas. Okay, when I say five sanhitas, it's five sanhitas put together, because that's how we have life. Now we can sense, we can see, we can do everything. So the stars, so to say, may not see or may not feel, but there, yes, there is only one. First law of, they have only one sandhi. Let me go to that slide. Supporting the forms is applicable to all the forms, including stars, black holes, sun, moon, everybody. So only one Sanhita has happened in their case. That is, the northern forms interacted with eastern forms, and somebody is holding them together. That's why they are star. Star is put together, hold together. The entire matter is in one place. Somebody is holding it. But in our body, we have such five sanhitas, and the interaction within those five sanhitas is creating the life, which is not happening. If tomorrow that kind of sanhita happens in stars at five different levels, and somebody is holding them five together, then stars will speak, stars will breathe, stars will see. So that's not happening. So it is only first level of. That's what somewhere I mentioned, that this is the first level of existence. So this is the balance of the existence. I think this is the, somewhere I mentioned कि first level of existence happen only for one level of so see, forms to life form. So transforming from forms to life form is like going from non-breathing to breathing. So the stars are forms, we are life forms. So non-breathing
Okay,
to breathing happens because of this
got it.
structure getting form.
Various gradations of kind of form or development of various advanced forms from stage to stage. And the very
Yes.
first form exists in the macrocosmos, so to say. Let's say, for example,
Yes,
the life
where
of
only
stars
supporting the form. So only form is supported there,
support. Got
where
it.
it could be any matter or maybe stars or galaxies. So somebody is holding them. So they are
And it,
only the first level of existence. The first level of form is getting form.
so
But
this
for
itself,
life to happen, Yeah.
Correct, correct. So this itself, I mean, like that a human, let's say, a form or what we call the PVM structure, essentially is blessed with five different levels of sandhis and what you say, the second one, uh, the what is the second one that you said? Sandhi and the other one, um,
Sanhita.
Samhita. So it is five different kind of intelligences, so to say, or possibilities that only a human
Exactly.
body can
So,
have.
so one is giving you the form, second one is giving you the awareness of the form, third one is giving you the knowledge. That is what Mahat I talked about. So that
Correct,
Mahat portion of that Mahat comes to you as a part of Buddhi, then supporting creative potential. So you are able to create your next generation. So you are able to produce.
correct,
And essence means you are able to. This is the most important. Essence means you realize it in the sense you can also transcend
correct,
yourself. So this is the
correct,
ultimate power given to you. Not
correct,
only you are able to generate or procreate, but you are also able to realize. So this is the beauty of this combination which we have inherited,
correct,
or it has
correct,
happened as a part of the evolution.
correct, correct. So, in some Puranas, or even in probably, so they say that even the devas, I mean, the higher beings also, they wish that they be born on earth because they also lack some of these possibilities or potentials.
Yes, they may not have all the five. They may not have. They may have everything, but may they not have body. I don't know. I have not really thought of it, but maybe something is missing. Correct?
Correct, exactly. That is, even yogis and rishis say that the devas also yearn to be born on earth as in human form, basically. And this clearly shows what are the potentials of the human form on earth. So, thank you so much.
Yeah,
It's
I
absolutely
think
brilliant.
even in the Kathopanishad, it is clearly mentioned by Yama to Nachiket that in order to attain liberation, there are only two ways. So one is you have to be on Bhuloka. From there, you can get access. There is a potential of attaining liberation, or you have to have evolved to the stage of Brahmaloka, that is the seventh, the Satyaloka. From where there is still you can directly, I mean, you can stay there as long as the Mahapralaya happens, and you will get direct instructions from Brahma, and you can attain enlightenment. But anywhere in between, you have to come back to the Bhuloka.
Hmm.
Yes.
This is
So I
fantastic. I
think we
mean,
can
yeah,
do a lot of
thank you.
extrapolation from this theory. Basically, once we understand this theory as a knowledge, and then second part is we experience this. So actually, when you start meditating and then start thinking while you're meditating, actually you will start really realizing how deeply somebody has done the study and put this knowledge together, because it is a very, we are seeing it in books and we are able to read and understand, but somebody has discovered this, no, that how this whole thing is formed. So imagine to what level they must have gone in the ancient time, so to experience this and write down all these things for the future generations.
Absolutely, yes. But here we are actually looking at your work, Hemant, and we are trying to appreciate your, I mean, the pains and your clarity. So this is what I really want to appreciate. It is fantastic, and it is of great value to modern thinkers because it is in such language, such formats, such frameworks that this knowledge needs to be presented, and it takes immense intelligence to actually distill out this clarity from so many different scriptures and put it in this form. So we are really enjoying and we are also applauding their efforts. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So I have only few slides, and I think with that we can end. And so let me go. So the toughest part for me was to explain the pranic movement. I don't know whether I explained it or not, but I think this is a topic we can park for the sometime, and then maybe you guys can do more research or maybe more experience on that, and then maybe present maybe sometime later. But I think some of the concepts are not very easy to put into slides like this and explain. So I think that was the last one. So I will just since this is the last Anuvak. Last means from my today's presentation point of view. Otherwise, there are many 11 Anuvaks in Shikshavalli. And I request all of you to please read that, because don't think that what I am presenting is the it covers everything. I have only covered which I can explain, and I have only covered which I felt was important. Maybe when you read, you may find even more interesting or deeper insights into the remaining Anuvakas. So please do not think that this is everything about Taittiriya Upanishad. So this is the last one which says Bhur Bhuva Swa indeed are the forms that have spread amongst them in interpenetrating all the three is their fourth form. The knower of space knows this intensely. This space itself, that is the creator of forms Bhu to Maha. This is the form or body. The other godheads are its limbs. So I think let's skip this. Not so the concept where I want to talk about is the Vyavruti. So this is this word called Vyavrutti. Vritti, I think you might have heard this in Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, that vrittis are actually the kind of vibrations which are coming through this structure, the subtle body which I explained so far. Continuously, the vibrations are happening, and those are the vrittis which are coming, influencing your mind, your buddhi, your ahankara. So those vyavrittis are coming from Bhur Bhuva Swa, that is time space consciousness, and the earlier constellations and the other interactions which we have seen in the energy, different energy flows. So the only thing which influence these thoughts or the vibrations which are coming and the forms of vrittis or vyavrittis is the Mahas or the Bhu to Maha. Maha is the Mahat which we talked in the earlier Saankhya Yoga, which I said I will cover it here. So let me cover it here on the. So these are the kind of thought trees which are growing in your subtle body or your energy body, which are influencing your mind continuously. A lot of thoughts coming into your mind, then influencing your buddhi and of course ahankara when you take the decisions, and which creates a bondage for you or kind of a karma for good, bad, whatever karma. So how do I really come out of this? So this is the last stage. So space, body has hundreds of thousands of sets of pathways and patterns to grow, and they do not change. These patterns are called vyavrutti. Internal to the form, these vyavrutti are called bhu. Similarly, time, thoughts, has many set pathways and patterns to grow, and they do not change. Internal to the form, these vyavrittis are called bhuva, and the consciousness feeling, it is called suva. However, very surprisingly, outside of this form is the surrounding environment. There are certain vyavrittis called maha, and they also have set patterns in which they grow. So now we are talking about the bhu growing in different ways, bhuva growing in different ways, suva growing in different ways, and all is getting controlled by maha. So different vibrations. So vibrations around us, maybe within our living space, within our house, within our working environment, there are multiple vibrations which are impacting us, which are a part of the Maha. And in a, maybe as a country, maybe as a ecosystem or wherever you are placed, the vibes or the vibrations coming because of that uh, country specific or geographical or maybe whatever work location specific. So those are the vibrations coming from Maha, and your internal vibrations are Bhu, Bhuva, and Swa coming from the time space consciousness which we talked so far. And there are multiple arrangements happening because of this. So what are those arrangements? So I'll again, they are given in great detail in, let me hide this 1 minute. Okay. So again, there are four types: Bhur, Bhuva, Swa, and Maha. So 4 into 4. So there are 16 different distinct patterns which can happen to everyone. Every human being, every life form, whether it's animal, fish, or whatever. So they are at least governed by these 16 aspects, predominant aspects. They may have multiple other aspects. So there are four types of bhus, the four types of bhuas, four types of suvas, and four types of mahas. So I have prepared a chart for that. Maha is the luminous world here. Mahas is the moon. Mahas is the space, thoughts, and Mahas is the food. So even what food you eat influences your Maha, Mahat, which actually influence your thoughts. So this is what. So I will not go deeper into this. So basically, this is the combination. We have Bhuva, Bhuva, Swaha, Maha. Different, as per the Taittiriya Upanishad, what combinations make what. So there are total 16 distinct combinations happening because of this. And to summarize this and to sum up, these are all called Chandra Kalas. So anywhere you might have read somewhere in the scriptures कि 16 Chandrakala hai. So they're all not really the Chandrakalas of the moon. Maybe there are also Chandrakalas of the moon, but there are the Chandrakalas of the distinct patterns of your thought space in which your time space consciousness and the external environment operate. And those 16 patterns actually govern your life. And the last one says if you understand this, then it is very interesting. These then are the fourfold four, the four becoming four again. He who knows these knows Brahma, the cosmos. For him, the gods carry the offering. In the sense, even gods will appreciate that. In the sense, if you understand this whole combination of Bhu, Bhuva, Swa, and Maha, then I think you know everything. You know the Brahma, so you know everything. So I think thank you very much. With that, I'll end my presentation. Now, maybe if questions, we'll attend questions. Otherwise, we can uh, take questions offline also. But at least if anybody has online, then we can take one or two questions.
Hemant, I had this comment. So on this, the concept of the Mahas Tattva, basically, Yogi Aurobindo, he did a lot of research on this one. That is, you said that the Bhu, the Bhuar, and Suar energies are the microcosmic, and the Mahar energies are the connection of the microcosmic with the macrocosmic. So he did a lot of research on this. What are these vibrations or what are these energies in the Mahar Lok that connect this human existence with the cosmic existence? And he took it from he took the connecting mantra from the Ishavasya Upanishad. That the mantra is this. It's a very famous one. Hiranyamayena patrena satyasya apihitam mukham tatvam pushan apavrunu satya dharmaya drishtaye. So this mantra from the Ishavasya Upanishad actually gave him the clue as to how the Bhu, Bhuvar and the Suar microcosmos connects to the macrocosmos, and the whole philosophy of the Arvindo is based on this one. So actually, I find that this is very interesting. That how you have presented gives me more clarity on understanding the philosophy of Arvindo. Thank you very much.
No problem. Okay, I think maybe Aditya has some question.
No. I was just going to say this was fantastic, especially the last few slides were very illuminating, and I'm going to go back and read this again because very difficult to digest in a short period of time. But this whole correlation between Bhur, Bhuvas, Swaha, and Maha, as per the Taittiriya, and then each of them into this table that you showed on the earlier slide, I think something which I'm interested in to research more. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be many research areas because don't think that I have done all the research because this is such a vast knowledge that I think even uh, 10 guys come together and do research, still it will not be adequate. So I think it needs a lot of deliberation, lot of understanding and simplifying and putting it and verifying with other scriptures, and then only you will come to some conclusion that will be your own conclusion, may not be the correct conclusion what Rishis thought actually, but this is what we are trying to interpret from our side.
Yes.
Actually, so Hemant, I mean, we will if there are follow-up questions, we'll definitely take them. But I would request you to speak a little bit without revealing the details of your interpretations on the following, that you said that with this knowledge base, with this framework, with this understanding of these three scriptures, you are able to interpret certain modern discoveries. Modern means in the past, let's say, few thousand years, like the discoveries of the pyramids, or certain great cosmological observatories of the present time excavations. So can you say in general, without revealing exactly, how you feel they are related? Thank you.
So I will just summarize. I may not take more than a minute. See, our ancient gurus or rishis, they have kept this knowledge everywhere. They have kept this knowledge in stars. They have kept this knowledge on earth. They have named rivers in such a way. They have created mythology. They have created different gods. So anywhere you look at it, you will get this knowledge. So what they thought, because only we thought this knowledge is in scriptures, but it is not. This knowledge is there kept everywhere. I mean, anywhere on the earth you go, you'll find this wherever they were initially. Not that all the rishis were all over world, but wherever they were in the olden days, they have ensured that they have somehow kept this knowledge, even if the scriptures go away for some reason, because some calamity happens and this knowledge gets totally wiped out, but they have kept this knowledge alive in multiple things. So if you keenly observe whatever I explained today, if you go anywhere, any temple, any ancient site, you will start getting the same knowledge coming out of that site to you. So this is my observation. Again, some other time we can discuss this, but for example, the ancient stories about the stars, say story of Vyadha or Saptarushis in the sky. So these are all they have named it in such a way that anybody who is out of curiosity trying to understand why seven stars are called seven rishis and what must be the logic behind that, or certain constellations are named after certain specific names. So if you go deeper, the stars will start telling you the story. I'm not exaggerating, but that's the actual with the way it happens.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay,
uh,
guys, I think
One
we
last
can.
question, Hemant.
Yeah,
Hemant,
yeah.
one last question. I mean, just a quick, short one. Do you see yourself collaborating with the likes of, say, Nilesh Oak, who is doing deep research in Kharol Shastra and bringing together the scriptural intelligence, which is not generally part of his presentations? His findings are more of mathematical research in astronomical evidences, but your part is more of scriptural intelligence. Do you see yourself co-working with him by any chance?
Certainly, I would like to meet him. I have never met him, and I requested you also a few months back whether because you are in touch with him, so certainly we can exchange the ideas and how to build and how to develop that model where his knowledge and whatever my knowledge is there, and maybe collective knowledge of you and Aditya and other team members on the call today, we can certainly put together a better picture, because what I'm sharing is just my version of it. Maybe there are multiple versions, and maybe some what do you say, 2 plus 2 can become 5 also, or maybe more than 5 also. So we don't know. So we can explore that activity.
Thank you. I think Hemant has given us his two valuable hours today. So Aditya, would you want to make closing comments?
Yes. Yeah. So I think we had a fantastic two sessions by Hemant Pandey, and thanks a lot. This was very illuminating, and I'm pretty sure our viewers are going to take a good amount of time to digest this information, and something hopefully some inspiration or some other creative work can spring out of this material. Thanks a lot, Hemant, and thank you to our viewers.
Yes. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much.